Just to recap on what we saw in the last tutorial, we saw the transport controls and how we can loop around a specific region of our choosing. Also, at the start of the last tutorial, I mentioned the thumbnail frame display on our timeline. Now what we're going to do here in this tutorial is look at changing our preview display. Okay, so what we need to do then, on our main monitor view there, perhaps this is the quickest way of doing it, right click on it and you can roll down to the penultimate option. But just before we do, I want to check in the adjust size and quality for optimal playback there. So by having that selected, well, perhaps that rather speaks for itself. The quality of the playback here in this preview monitor will now automatically adjust its size and quality for optimal playback, as the statement says. Now, in fact, what I'll do is I'll right click on here again and I'll uncheck it just to save some CPU resources. I don't think it's going to make that much difference, but just in case. Now, what we are concerned with is another option, the thumbnail frame display option. So right-click on your monitor once more and then roll down to the penultimate option, Video Preview Preferences. So select it, and once you select it, you'll see this user interface. And we're concerned with this field here, thumbnails to show in video events. Now at present, this is set to show head and tail. I'll explain what that means in a second. Let me just reposition this. I'll left click and drag to the top right. That means we can now just see enough of our timeline. Now at present our event starts by displaying a frame at the beginning, and that's known as the head of our event. Then there's a space, a blank area, and then there's another frame on display, a thumbnail view there, at the end, and that's the final frame, and that's known as the tail. If I want to alter this, well, click on the field option drop reveal there and change, well, you'll see all these options. I'll change it to none, and then I'll hit apply. And therefore now the timeline displays no frames. I'll just left click on here again to move across to the left so that we can see the timeline better. Okay, I'll just move it back to the top right once more. And then let's see what other options are available. I'll click on the drop reveal once more and I'll change this to head. And when I hit apply, well, of course, now we only see the beginning frame, i.e. the head of this particular event. So only our start thumbnail frame is on display. The rest of that event is completely blank. Let's see what else we've got. I'll click on the drop reveal and change this to head tail. Actually, we've already seen that, so I'll change it again. I'll change it to the option there, head center tail, and hit apply. And so now we see the first frame, and then we'll see an empty space. Then we'll see the center frame, i.e. the middle frame, on display, then a space, and then at the end of our event, we'll see the last frame, the thumbnail there, and I'll hit OK. Of course, that removes that user interface from view. So let's look at this in a little bit more focus. I'll left click on the left gripper there on our scroll bar to zoom in, and I'll also do the same on the right gripper on the scroll bar to zoom in as well. And just so that we can refocus, I'll left click in the middle there to move to the start. Okay, that's more clear. And so now we see the first frame as expected, then the space, then a middle frame, another space, and the last frame there. The middle frame being the center frame, because that's what we chose, remember? Head, center, tail. Okay, let's have another look. I'll right click on our monitor once more and roll down to Video Preview Preferences. I'll change our drop reveal options there to all and hit OK. And so now, when I left click on my scroll bar there on the left gripper to zoom in, then the frames now get built or updated to always display at this zoom level. And I'll just move my scroll bar to the start at this zoom factor. And also I'll left click on the right hand gripper there and zoom in some more. Again, the thumbnail got rebuilt to reflect this zoom level. Okay, I'll left click on my right gripper once more and zoom again. And of course, subsequently, those frames get rebuilt on my timeline. This time I'll grab my right gripper again and zoom out. And once more, you'll see that fluid update of all my thumbnail frames there, right across. Okay, so I'll right click on my monitor once more and choose my penultimate option, and I'll drop down and I'll use the drop reveal to change to head, center, tail, and I'll OK it. Okay, so that's all we need to do then when we want to change what gets displayed as a preview along our timeline for our video tracks. Okay, we'll finish up here then, and I'll see you in a second.